My first motherfucking 3 months in the Army, I got busted for smoking weed. Popped out on the piss test. Shoulda got tossed the fuck out on my neck. Went to jail. Alright? Shoulda lost my security clearance. I was protected. There was angels all around me. Henry Harris, my very first platoon sergeant, Sergeant First Class Henry Harris. That motherfucker went to bat for me. Who the fuck would have done that? Black kid. He was black dude too, man. He looked like the Brown Hornet from the Brown Hornet from Fat Albert and the gang.
Okay.
That would come down and help Fat Albert and them out when they was in the shit. And the motherfucker still looked younger than me, man. He's a beautiful man. All right, he was my father. He was my platoon sergeant. He was all that. And he went to bat for me. I got busted. They took all my rank, took my money. I got put on 45 days of restriction, all that stuff. And I thought it was it. But it wasn't. I got my clearance back. I did the punishment. The alternative was going back to Philadelphia. The fuck was I going to go back and do? So I was running, man. The military was the perfect place to run. You want to know why? Let me tell you why. Because you normally do 2 to 3 years, right, per duty station. If it's good, if it's bad. Maybe you don't like your supervisor, maybe you do. But you get to keep on moving. And the way my mind worked, I needed to keep on fucking moving. Because if I sat still, I was going to think about all the shit that almost fucking killed me. So I kept moving. At that moment, flight was all I had left. I had to save all my fight for the wars. I served. Went to Germany. Went to Alaska. My daughter Salida was conceived in Alaska. You know, some dark, long, cold nights. The way the military worked, it's like ADHD with a combination of, it's a bipolar environment. There's a lot of schisms and isms that can operate in that place and be successful. You can go in one room and be, greeted with fucking love, and go another one, get shit on for something you didn't even do. And then the next day you're drinking the beer with the same motherfucker shit on you. It's like that type of environment. So your emotions were always quick changing. You can never get settled into who the fuck you are. Because you had to be so many different things.
You're always thrown off.
That's it, man. You wear so many hats, man. Yeah. You check soldiers how, and this is all noble shit. Don't get it twisted, because it's taking care of people. That's the best part about it. That was the best part. That's why I stayed so long. Because it wasn't the war shit. It wasn't none of that bullshit. All right. For y'all wondering what I'm doing, it's trigger pulling. All right. Pop, 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 pop. It wasn't that shit. Being there with the motherfuckers was the bomb. No pun intended. It was like fucking day camp on steroids. It was like overnight camp on steroids, being deployed in Iraq. All right, that was when you really got to fucking wild out and be the monster that you are, that they wanted you to be. Because you shut your fucking shit off as soon as you got on that bus and said, bye baby, bye. You shut it off. And you got to just shut the fuck down and be Sarge, Chief, Captain, Major. And fucking focus on the daycare. Who's picking up the baby. You didn't give a fuck what was going on with your children. And you would say, your wife, because you're successful at this shit, right? You've climbed the chain. So your wife, she's complicit in it because she wants you to be successful. She says, leave your father's got a lot of things to focus on. You know what I'm saying? So they don't fuck with you. they know what you're doing is important. It's the work that must be done. It's noble. Man, ooh, all right. Like I said, taking care of the kids that are in the military, because that's what they are. That's what most of them are. And they're like perennial children, bro. They don't age until they get the fuck out. And they age rapidly. They're a kid to the day that they get that DD-214, and then everything starts breaking down on them. And I knew that my time was coming. All right, my motherfucking cheese was sliding off that cracker faster than you could say, Candy, that bitch was on my Snicker. You say what? Exactly. I didn't even know what the fuck I just said. I mean, dude, I talked to my buddy last night and I reminded him of all the times that I just went off on people, security guards at the gate, shit that should have got me tossed out of my ear. But everybody had PTSD, so it was all understood. They knew that people was just charged up, so it was all understood. They let people operate with impunity, so it was all understood. All right, it got to keep you happy. It was all understood. All right, you know, it is what it is. All right, you know, go to Iraq. You know, we're handing out. I mean, we go through the invasion. We riding through Baghdad. We're passing out. You know, like these people on the street pointing in their mouths. They want water. Their currency's worth nothing. Saddam dollars, nothing. So I saw what it looks like to watch something that probably nobody thought was going to fall, but the U.S. made them. I mean, shit. You know, all it takes is a couple choice-placed missiles, and you'll find your leader in the hole where his ass should have been, Saddam Hussein. All right, got it, understood. But we went in there to do like we always do, nation build. You know, we're rolling through there. Right when they took Baghdad down, they were like, you know, people started raising the U.S. flag, and they was like, don't do that. Because that means we now occupying. And that's not what we wanted then. Because we just going to go there, kick some ass. May 3rd, I declared this war over. Bullshit. It wasn't. George Bush, sorry. All right. We stayed. And we was sitting there, man, in Samara. Me and my you know, my brothers in combat, brothers and sisters in combat. Samara, Iraq. No internet, you know, phone, shit like that. And we wondering like, okay, the war's over. They just said the war's over. It's June. It's July. Why are we still here? You know, every day people being, you know, injured or dying, right? I was supposed to leave. All right, to go to Alaska. All right, to go to Alaska. To set up another unit called the Stryker Brigade so they could deploy also. So I was gonna leave that deployment to go to another deployment. But my commander, in all his infinite wisdom, figured I'd be best served to stay in that unit. So he got my assignment deleted. No big deal. But my wife was already up there. All my property was already up there. And he pretty much told me, Colonel, all right, he thought he could just talk to anybody any old way. He thought he could talk to me any old way too. When he called and lied to the branch, okay, and they deleted my assignment. He didn't care that my family was up there. All he wanted to make sure that nobody left his unit, because asses in seats, boots on the ground, is what goes on their officer evaluation report. Not to mention, I was motherfucking damn good at my job. Why you want to lose combat power, right? All right. He didn't want to do that. But once again, God stepped in, my friend. And it took the general. He had to write a memorandum for me to leave theater, because the assignment to Alaska was a priority assignment for the Stryker Brigade, because we was going to go over there to Stryker Brigade and kick motherfucking ass. But they had to get set up first. They were brand new to the Army, and they needed me because I had this, you know, I was identified with these technical skills. I eventually left that unit, no award, and that man told me, I won't even call him a general, he told me I was no longer a member of the Iron Knight family, a unit that I first went to war with, received multiple awards. All right, was the NCO of the quarter, month, year, all that stuff. Mentored hundreds of soldiers, trained them to prepare for war and still thrive in life. All right, all he wanted to do was motherfuckers thrive in war for his machine, for him to get his stars. Okay, that's all he wanted. Okay, and God, is not going to allow that stuff to happen, not to his children. All right. This man told me that if he chose to, he could call my future commander and let him know that I was not a team player, but he's not that type of guy. I was threatened and couldn't do shit. It was people like that, okay, to the reason why the cheese slides off the fucking cracker. All right, we Apocalypse Now, right? All right, Colonel Kirk. War was over and that motherfucker wanted to rush through Cambodia. That's how they were. Because they were the men on the ground that had all the answers. So the generals who don't know shit, and the only time they know shit is when they retire and want to write a fucking book about all the shit they should have did but didn't do. All them fucking generals. All of them. Why is that? Why is it that when you get to the highest motherfucking level, that when you got all the stars that they can give you, why isn't that you don't use your power for good instead of thinking that you're going to get a fucking 5th star? All right. We watched them all play the background as the Capitol was about to be destroyed. But then they want to come out and say, don't worry, guys. The U.S. Army, government, soldiers, Marine Corps, Coast Guard would never listen or take an order that was not lawful. Fuck you. Bitch, I watch motherfuckers do orders, unlawful shit 24/7, 365 to get the mission accomplished.
How, if you were king for a day or a year, how would you fix it?
So we're talking about whole men fixing problems, but I'm going to switch it on you. Whole man, I can be a queen for a second. I'm going to go with Wonder Woman. Okay. She got that truth lasso. Okay. I wrap that motherfucking lasso around all these motherfuckers and make them spill all their beans, just like I told y'all the truth. All right? So I'm going to throw that truth lasso around you, B, and make you spill all your guts. That's what I'm going to make them do, because the truth will set you free. I thought you knew. It set me free. I sat on that patio, all right, February, March 2019, and had a deep, deep conversation with God, told him what I wanted to do. My intentions were set and they were pure. I said I wanted to heal the world with a message. I wanted to heal the world with a message. I said I need a microphone. I said I need the biggest microphone of them all. And he gave it to me. And I'm going to run with it.
With this golden lasso as a metaphor,
yeah,
what do you think that looks like in practice? Is it all of these generals going to a ceremonial hallucinogen camp and getting real? Like
yes.
World leaders?
Absolutely fucking yes. Absolutely yes, man. Yes. Because your stomach won't let you lie. Your stomach will fucking make you, it will toss and turn. You get what I'm saying? When that sacral chakra begins to, that chakra starts to turn, that sacral chakra wheel, okay? And when you pop that shroom, when you decide to take that ride, that trip, your gut is going to tell you what you need to say. And then what's going to happen is all of the blood is going to start flowing properly, and your solar plexus is going to open up, and you're going to feel strong enough to tell the truth. All right, your heart chakra is going to feel things that it's never felt before. Love, all right, abundance of it. All right, your heart rate's going to go up like you're on a roller coaster, and you're going to feel like a fucking kid again. And kids don't lie. Kids, the only time a kid lies is when they're scared. So stop being scared. Stop telling these lies. Okay, a kid will tell the truth if they're not scared of the repercussions.
What would day one look like after they all trip together? They all are like, we kind of need to move forward in a new way. We see that now. But what does that new way look like?
Well, this is the thing, man. You gotta, when we do these hallucinogens, right? We're taking a look at, who we find out who we really are in the process, right? What makes what happened in these individuals' lives need to be answered. All right, when they were a little kid, when they started craving all of this authority and power and shit, right? If that's the case, all right, because there's a certain individual that will give their life 45 years, 40 years of service, right? And that's all good. But when in charge, take charge. All right? Because I know for a fact that when you stand on merit, okay, even if you get knocked down by those that don't want to see you succeed, the universe is going to take care of all that. Like I said, here it was. General, the man that said he was going to stop me from seeing my family, stop me from having a successful career, said I was not a team player, which is against everything that anyone, he never even knew me. He didn't know me as an individual, nothing about me. But when he did that, he sealed his fate with the universe by acting immoral for something that was just unnecessary, to cause someone else grief and pain because he was hurt. Something's wrong with him. He's broken. Okay? Don't know how, don't know why, don't know when. But he was. Don't know. I don't communicate with him. But here it was. This incident happened in 2003. When was the Me Too movement? 2018, 19?
2016, after Trump won, 2017.
Okay, 2017. Yeah. So we're talking about 14 years. This man got his papers because his mask fell off. How appropriately, at the highest level, where he thought that everything was going to be smooth sailing. It wasn't. Okay? Because you can't do that. If he did that shit to me, someone that was, a good soldier, who the fuck was he doing to that didn't have a voice? Because I had a voice. I called fucking the inspector general. Because I'm smart like that. I went to my building. All right, we had one internet line. All right, Zipper, which is secure. All right, couldn't get on no Google and no shit like that. It's 2003. We had one IP address. I found the email address for the 4th Infantry Division Inspector General. I was not going to let this man get away with that. And they realized they were wrong. They signed my paperwork. I was gone within 4 or 5 days. I left with no fucking award. I spent 4 years in that unit. They didn't even write me an award. And I also left with the worst NCO evaluation report that I ever received. And I was a highly decorated soldier. So when that could have fucked me out of making the next rank and the next rank. But see, the people that promote, that will be an outliner, that one report. All right, it wasn't horrible. I just got one block that I would have never gotten. I'm a one blocker. Okay? Top notch. Motherfucker gave me a 2 in one area that was contradictory. Just cause. And there was nothing I could do because I had to leave. That could have stopped me from making sergeant first class, which it didn't. Could have stopped me from becoming a chief warrant officer, which it didn't. But this man, this person, this individual, when you do shit like that, when the universe, the book is already written. And they got to know that. So they got to know that with their actions are going to definitely lead to, a future that is not going to be favorable for them. All right. I was in those shoes when I was fully indoctrinated in the service and believed that everything that was black and white and up and down and left and right had to be the way it was. I was sick for not, going above and beyond to help Joe out when I knew that that's always the right thing to do. So I did it. It was no way I couldn't. And I'm not sitting here like I'm some fucking saint. You get what I'm saying? But we learn. All right, I could have been a soldier that went from, smoking motherfuckers for being late for work. Get down, beat your face, give me 50 push-ups. Get on your back. Calling them all types of names and shit like that. But not asking her, hey man, so is everything okay? You got any issues? He might say, hey, yeah, Sarge, my wife, man, she works at the Mickey's gas station and she didn't get off her shift until 7 a.m, so I didn't have no car ride, and I was afraid to call you because you told me that if I was late again, then I was going to be in trouble. So I just figured, I wasn't even going to call because I was scared. Why are we scaring motherfuckers that we want to protect us in the same foxhole? Right? Why are we leading like that with fear? I don't know, man. All right. I learned these things, though. I learned them where you supposed to learn them at. Primary leadership development course. Because they run scenarios of This for that. You want this, you want to pass this leadership course, you want this promotion, you want this rank. That's the shit, bro. And one of the last jobs I had in the military was as a SHARP advisor, right? Which is a sexual harassment response prevention, coordinator or whatever. I was at the brigade level, and one of my jobs was responsible for helping soldiers report sexual assault and sexual harassment. And then every month I would have to go to the meetings at the post level, Fort Hood, 3 Corps, and see who all got raped, who all was assaulted by their battle buddy or by their supervisor, or maybe it happened at home in housing by their spouse. But we had to see it on a chart and then hear from a fucking general, why are we letting this happen? He yelling at us because people getting raped. Motherfucker, is that how we gonna fix it? So now you putting pressure on all us to figure out, because Congress was in their ass. 2011, Congress was in their ass deep, wanted full control over the Army SHARP program. Full fucking control, because it was a failure. You report something happened to you, they would move the victim like he or she did something wrong. And then they go to a new unit. Oh, that's that bitch that told on Sergeant so-and-so. End up in a ditch. And we've seen that. Soldiers getting beat down, abused, found, no one looking for him. Fort Hood pimp. He was a SHARP, pimping out his soldiers, pimping out victims. Fort Hood pimp. Google him. Sergeant first class that was pimping out female soldiers that went to him because of scarcity, looking for help. He found their vulnerabilities and pimped them. He knew their money was fucked up. He pimped them. He knew their husband was fucked up. He pimped them. He offered these women, these soldiers, these heroes, these patriots, and they were all mostly women of color. Ain't that a bitch? And he was black, is black. He did this shit, and he would have parties and invite senior NCOs and officers to come. They all go to the fucking bank, get their ones ready, and then he promised them, hey, if you do this, you'll probably get paid more. He wasn't giving them nothing. This is the shit. This is the shit. This is the closed society, all right, that I've always been a part of. Glenn Mills was a closed society. Couldn't tell nobody what the fuck was going on outside them walls. All right? Because you'd be stuck there. I'm a lodge report. You ain't going home. Lodge report. So I'm file a complaint. You still in the contract. You still gotta fucking work with your motherfucking assailants until the shit gets all squared away. This is and this is the stuff. I don't even watch the news no more, bro, because I know that this shit is still happening. I catch tidbits of it from time to time, and I know that these installations, these organs, they're still having these things that are happening to the soldiers, and so they're dealing with having to the operation tempo of the military, the looming threat of going to war and dying, or their whole relationship being trashed in the process because separation is a bitch. All right. Especially when you're only 20, 21 years old. Shit, 30, 35. Suppose you're having some issues, 40-something years old, and your marriage just fucking dissolves. All right. You did your whole career for your family, and now your family is in the wind. That's the norm, bro. That's the norm. That's not the exception, or that is like most case scenario for those that sport the the service tag.
Do you feel like social media is helping soldiers gain more agency by arming them with more information?
Yeah, and let me tell you what type of information they get. They getting financial information. Okay? They're getting information to break them 12 link chains information, right? Information that they didn't receive in their household, right? They're finding out that, oh shit, if I create an LLC when my kid turns 16 years old, and then I can start paying that said kid for work around the house, giving that said kid W-4, giving that kid two daggone years of work experience by the time they're 18. Then they can go with the A1 credit, go buy their first duplex, live in one half of it. All right, that would kill the military, because motherfuckers would no longer need that little bitch ass paycheck. All right, the promise of college that half of them can't use because they was always deployed all the time. All right, trying to figure out how to do a college class when you was up for 24 fucking hours to guard grown ass people. That's what we do. It's called change of quarters. You got a guard in staff duty. You guard grown people. Guarding grown people. Not protecting them, guarding them. All right, in case something happens to this grown ass person that lives in this barracks that's not capable of. So you stay up 24 hours, get off, and you still got to figure out how to live your life when you losing sleep by the second. And they're telling you all you need is 4 hours every night, and it doesn't have to be consecutive. So you start figuring out whoever's got the biggest cojones is the one that doesn't need sleep. And then you start making silly ass decisions. Seen it. It's all about how we talk, how we communicate. And that's just like the military. If we don't find out that, they're having a problem that is deeper than them just oversleeping. All right, maybe it's something going on at home that we need to talk about. All right, instead of being all heavy-handed. All right, and encourage them to be whole. And letting them know it's male soldiers being abused by their wife spouses, and just like there's female soldiers being abused. All right, but a male soldier ain't gonna say nothing about it for fear, ego, right? But not his ego, the ego of his comrades. His ego got took the fuck away by the one that assaulted him or her. I set up in court martials, man. All right, and watch a soldier. I read you're reading the complaint, like all the charges. And you're like, what the fuck? One soldier did this to another. And you're just like, you're shook because you're like, how many more? Am I so the military is nothing more than a microcosm of society. Obviously, we know this. So I'm not putting a horrible, bad light on it. But goddamn, we supposed to be elite. Supposed to be, like the cream of the crop of this shit, right? Yeah. We always tout. We're the 1%. We're the 1% of the on the other side. So you got the 1%, that's sitting there, all the money, right? And then we're the 1% that serve, that don't even relate to any of that bullshit, but they're the ones sending us around the world. So think about that. The bottom 1% not the bottom one financially, but the 1% that joins the military gets sent around the world by the 1% that control the dollar. So then there's 98% in fucking middle that need to make shit change. That's a lot.
Yeah.
98% of motherfuckers versus 2%. Right. Well, it's only really against 1%. Military motherfuckers can't do shit. We're in a contract. All right, but you 98%ers, all right, that's lukewarm in the motherfucker. All right, raise your temperature to at least 100. Keep it real. And do something. Y'all go with the polls. We go with the polls. All right, it's supposed to mean something. We watched every year that shit try to get stripped away. Says racism doesn't exist. We don't need these voter rights and all that shit, right? Because racism doesn't exist anymore. All right. So you ask somebody, I told my daughter, I said, well, Salita, you know what? The easiest way to stop some of this shit is you ask them a question, say, well, do you see color? And they say, no. And you're a racist. Because then it means you don't see me. All right. That's it. It's that simple. What do you mean? I just treat you like equal. Bitch, it ain't equal. You can't treat me like equal. All right? You can try, but it ain't a level playing field. Never has been. Part of being a communicator, right, and a signaleer, we would say, you can talk about us, but you can't talk without us. See, we had this chip on our shoulder as signaleers because everybody communicating. Oh, you like that radio communications on? I made that happen, right? But they don't give you no love, all right? Because you was just doing your job, right? But they beat you up if it's a little static on the line, all right? You can talk about us, but you can't talk without us. All right, we were the messengers. That's the mentality the 98% has to have. Yeah. You can talk about us, but you can't talk without us. You can talk about us, but you can't talk without us. These people that stand up there in the halls, in the Capitol building, if we stop showing up, putting these cameras in front of them for them to act, and put on these shows, and they would see that they're not important. They shouldn't be rich by any means. They don't do enough fucking work to make that money. Let me repeat that. They don't do any work. They don't. All the staffers, they don't do shit short of waking up, drink coffee, and talk shit and lie.
It's never been a hero. That's why Greg Abbott's never been a hero.
I began to go see, I didn't want to get on record for any of that shit. All right, because security clearances, future employment, like most people don't. So they don't report it, right? Self-reporting is the mark of the beast. All right, instability, mark of the beast. Anybody know that? You walking around these issues, and every time you get upset, you get gaslighted. Chief going off again. He must be, and everybody would use that term. I'm having a PTSD moment. Don't make my PTSD. I hated that shit because it's fucking real. You can't make it do nothing. That motherfucker does what the fuck it want to do if you don't have control over it, which is everyday. It's everyday op.
They give you no tools like meditation or yoga.
None of that. Not with me. Not when I was, going through and coming out. They may be doing that shit now, but I know the VA so backed up. And I don't know if it's quality, but that's why I'm here. That's what we do. You know what I'm saying? This ain't just for veterans. It's for everybody. Of course, yoga for PTSD, yoga for veterans, make a vet sweat. There's programs out there, right? But I knew that I had to go because they was about to send me back to war, man. I retired in 2014. They were still sending people, back. Oh, that would have been my 5th deployment. All right, my kids was already fucked up. All right, my kids was already, when I say that, I'm just saying, they was already had enough. They had enough. So I made I talked to a few people. I didn't know exactly what I was going to do. Everybody gave me, warm and fuzzies and shit based on the experience that I gained, my credentials. I retired as a Chief Warrant Officer 3, which is a highly specialized technical professional. All right, highly specialized. All right, and a lot of things. All right, as well as I have a degree in computer networking and security. So in multiple certifications, Microsoft, Cisco. Okay, that easily placed me into a government job. Ooh. All right, which were coveted, because that's what every Joe wanted. All right, get into that GS system where they could just kind of just blend in and just continue to, make sausages and shit, right? Make sandwiches. So I wanted to make sandwiches. So I thought, I picked my whole family up. We went to Hawaii, worked for the Defense Information Systems Agency, the internet. I had diabetes with an A1C of 8 at its max when I was 30, as you were, 41 years old, I found out I had diabetes type 2, right? I thought I was pretty fit. I just retired from the military. All right, I was benching 400 pounds. All right, I was eating all that steak, potatoes, sweet potatoes, all that shit. All right, trying to get big. My cholesterol-ldl went through the roof. 240, I think it went to, which is heart attack level, right? Widowmaker. You throw those two things together, diabetes and high cholesterol, you got 2 of the, major metabolic syndrome diseases that was killing motherfuckers. Is as you were. I say was, because I'm already past that shit. Stress and more stress and more stress. Walking around with a motherfucking smile on my face all day long, ready to blow the fuck up. I was big as fuck too back then. I was like 200 some odd pounds. I used to wear tight ass polo shirts. All right, I eat with chopsticks because we're in Hawaii. So I'm this big motherfucker, like breaking the chopsticks. And they loved me, man. But there was a pool in the office. When was Hale gonna lose his shit? And I did several times. Dude, within like my first 30 or 40 days, I went off on a fucking full bird kernel. over a VTC that he had early in the morning, but no one told me. So I wasn't able to be there, and I didn't want my name to be shitted on like that for missing anything. I felt like he set me up. That's how I walked around. No one was gonna set me up. No one was gonna take anything from me. I went off on this I was like, he's a piece of shit. I don't even know him. Woosah. And that was, it was like that. All right, you were on call. There were SES's senior executive, whatever, right? These folks that are on par with secretaries of, defense and those levels. That should have been retired a long time ago, but they milking that motherfucking gravy train. Their brains are mush, and they're in charge of us. Joker came to me with a 14-character password that he created, but wanted me to fucking figure it out for a presentation. Had me sweating, hopping around. Yes, boss. Yes, sir. I'll figure it out for you. Let me just see if I can shake this CD, shake these motherfucking numbers out. Get the fuck out of here, you idiot. But these motherfuckers getting paid $2.25. All right, $200,000 fucking dollars a year to fuck us over. Absent-minded motherfuckers behind the wheel.
You must have always wished, oh God, if I could just tell this person's boss, or if I could tell somebody, if I could expose, like,
they were all connected. My boss, her husband, was the head of another department that the overarching boss wanted to fire my boss and put me in that position. Everybody's like, hey, you're going to be the next in this position. No, the fuck I'm not, because her husband would be above me. How the fuck I'm going to thrive? Dude, I was getting set up left and right. There was workplace violence incidents, and there was a statement that I gave because it was legitimate. I don't keep secrets. Man got fired, lost his job, over $100,000 job. He had PTSD. He was a retired a Navy sailor, and he just got triggered. I'm sitting in my computer hearing this shit. Motherfucker talking about, I'm gonna beat your ass in the parking lot. And I'm like this, man. I'm like shrinking in my chair. Like, am I gonna die today? All right, this is a government fucking agency, right? Highest caliber. And this shit dissolves, but people want to know what happened. So I gotta write a statement. I tell the truth. Well, he gets fired because I told the truth, not because I wrote a statement. All right, not because of what I said in the statement. What I put in there is what the fuck happened. You can't do that, right? He couldn't do what he did. He got fired. But she told him who wrote the statement that fired him. The motherfucker lived in my neighborhood. He just closed on an $800,000 home. He was a contractor. He didn't have the security of government because of a lazy government employee that was supposed to be my right-hand person that always was slacking. And people were just tired of him. But he had seniority. He was that's just the way it worked. So I wrote a statement. The guy gets canned. I go see him in the grocery store or the gym, and I'm like, oh shit, I just cost this dude his,
Yeah.
He was 100% disabled for PTSD. I know why he got triggered. I tried my best not to get triggered by that same guy also. But every time I thought that I was going to motherfucking lose my shit, I saw my kids. I quantum jump. See my children. Don't kill this motherfucker.
I look to God and ask who did it and why, but all he can continue to do is bless me with eyes. Wonder why Stevie wonders without the perspective to try. But like my homie said, to stunt is like a piece to the pie. Knowledge I've been given is for some to be committed. Wear a hat that's probably fitted and some Timbs and put on for all who didn't. And add some stuff from the heart that I bet you couldn't read. But I'm not a Michael Jordan, but you can fly with me. To the moon and back, this flow was packed with knowledge, yes sir, to proceed in life and see the things that most are way too blind to see. And I hope it's not a bad thing to be like me. But trust me, better things come in life. You just gotta wait and see. Open up, believe. Take a look at the sea. The opportunities that open up and wave like the sea. This the kind of shit that make my mom wanna cry. Maybe even real proud, but too early to try. After the fact that she done been through some real cold things. Too cold that a sweater and beanie couldn't do the damn thing. But I heard if she heard me rap the way I do, she would trip. But trust me, Mom, I'm doing everything, so please don't trip. Hold up, reload my mind for joyful memories, and I'll probably shed a tear or two looking at all the things that I said I knew was true. And then I think about all the times that I've been through. and all the things I've been through. I hope you can relate too.
Did you ever think, you know what would be great for folks with PTSD? Blah. Did you ever kind of envision what that would
Yeah.
look like?
Exactly, right? So okay, so when you have a disability, a veteran has a disability, anybody has a disability, there are accommodations, right? Reasonable accommodations that they have. Guess what? Ain't no motherfucking reasonable accommodations to be working in that type of high op tempo if you are 50, 75, 100% for PTSD. There's triggers all around you, right? There's no accommodation. They're going to put a sleeping tent in there or a blue room or somewhere for you to go, go do yoga. All right. No, they won't, because time is money and money is time, right? They've tried to offer wellness things, an hour, 2 hours, but then they want to control that, how you do it, how you manage it, makes it too stressful, right? Folks that are living, I don't use the term suffering, all right, that are living with, dealing with PTSD, bipolar disorder, any other type of psychiatric, condition that was just eating them up. Getting to the root of that, is going to take you to places that are going to cause you great deal of discomfort. All right, but it's worth it in the end, because we're talking about healing, and healing is like healing, right? So not healed. And so somebody say, "Oh, are you healed from PTSD?" Motherfucker, what? Healing every day, right? It's just like, okay, so they say, an addict, right? You're once addict, always addict. It's true. That's not slander, because you're one drink away from 1,000. You're one, coke line away from blowing the whole wide and just being right back where you were, rock bottom, right? PTSD is the same thing, man. It's an addiction to pain. It feels like sometimes, right? That's what it feels like. Like your mind wants to keep pulling you to these places that cause pain because, but the reason why it's doing it is pulling you there to pull you through it. Not to leave you there, right? It's the only way that you can get to the fifth dimension. Leaving the third, passing through the fourth. It's the only way you can get to the fifth dimension, by confronting all the demons that torment you. All the past things that cause you not to be able to sleep at night, the things that make you fucking break down and melt like a fucking popsicle ice cream cone on a hot ass sidewalk, man. Like you see me, right? This shit is not motherfucking fake. Ain't no takes in between this shit. Motherfucker, my mind will jump to a place and turn me into a whole different fucking individual over some shit that happened 30 years ago. 31, 32 years ago, right? So you telling me that the shit that just happened to me in wartime situations and shit, just a decade ago, which was fucking horrific. Motherfucker leave the gate, go out to go patrol, don't come back. You find out the motherfucker's dead. Going home, C-130 flying low. All right, casket, flag over it, remains. And his family, shit like that, right? Well, when you walking out the building of the headquarters and shit, and you seeing like the daily death toll, the fuck kind of shit is that? Who does that? Why are we doing that? Like literally, you walk out the headquarters building, like you're in Baghdad, and you gotta watch and see who died the night before in the whole division, and you would feel like obligated to stop and watch. They were on big screens as you walked out. You would feel obligated to watch because it felt like you don't know these people, but you felt like, prayerfully you didn't know them. But you feel like, okay, I'm still alive. So before I go eat fucking lunch, because I'm a fucking scumbag for living, let me pay homage to this sergeant, the staff sergeant, who got off duty at 5 a.m, because they tell you the whole how it happened. Mother of whatever, daughter of whatever, hometown this, was going to her CHU, which is container housing unit, which is a metal trailer type thingy. And as soon as she laid down, fucking rockets hit her shit, and she dies in it. All right, you read that shit, and then you go, oh, okay, let me go get my motherfucking child. I gotta be back. And you move on. You move the fuck on. Meanwhile, you watching the death toll go up, right? And that's what they're doing with COVID-19, man. And if you don't pay homage to it, you the Antichrist. If you don't be like, oh man, but wait a minute, there's 500,000 motherfuckers that's dead. We got to do something. People are doing something. People are changing their lives. People are finding out who they are in this whole thing. God did this. This ain't Chinese. Stop the bullshit. Stop the bullshit. And if you say it's Chinese, well, God made the fucking Chinese, bitch. God still did it. God knew. He slowed down time for us, motherfuckers. He slowed it down. It's about to speed the fuck up, though. Trust me. This bitch about to be spinning, and your bitch ass might get flown off it if you ain't holding on tight. He slowed it down. He who controls time is the master of the universe. Alright? Sorry if I'm having a Thanos moment, but I'm just trying to let you motherfuckers know that it's about to speed up on you. He gave you time to figure out who you are. And when I say he, you know I'm using that non-discriminatively, non-pejoratively speaking. He, she, her, him. He slowed it down so you can find out who you are, what your hustle is, your purpose, what you do. What do you provide here on this earth? Hope, joy, love. Well, that's all good too. But bitch, can you grow a garden? You gotta eat. He slowed it down so you could see what scarcity is gonna do to us if we don't start going back through root knowledge and learning who we are as a human race. You know, we trying to go to Mars and shit. Alright, and just leave this motherfucker behind. Who gonna get left behind? You motherfuckers already know the 98% of our asses. More likely 99%. As the 1% shoot for the fucking stars. And leave us here on this rotten ass bitch called Earth. The place of your birth. Feel the energy of possessing high self-esteem because you trusted your dreams. You have overcome fear, mastered your thoughts, and make conscious choices based on the clarity, confidence, and vitality of your mind